Hello, my name is Megan Whiteside, and this is my presentation on the Temporary Assistance for Needy Family Act, also known as TANF. Before TANF was created in 1996, welfare was handled through a policy called Aid to Family with Dependent Children, which was created in 1950. This was an entitlement program, and an entitlement program means that anybody who meets the eligibility requirements is accepted into the program. Once families were accepted into Aid to Family with Dependent Children, they were automatically enrolled into other social services, such as food stamps, Medicaid, and child care. The goal was to lift families out of poverty. In the 1960s and 70s, there was a major concern that this act was leading families to stay on welfare rather than try to exit poverty by themselves. And so in 1996, the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families Act was passed with 4 goals to make sure that families were working to exit the system. The first goal is to end welfare dependency by requiring work from families who are receiving benefits. Second, to help the needy families keep their children in their homes. Third, to reduce pregnancy without marriage and single motherhood, since in large part the aid to families with dependent children were given to single mothers. Fourth, to encourage marriage and thus two-parent households, which was seen as a way for families to exit poverty. This TANF was not an entitlement program. Instead, it was a federal block grant which was given to states. The amount of money within this block grant program was frozen at the 1996 level of Aid to Family with Dependent Children. It has not risen or lowered since then. States have to match between 80 to 75% of funding, and once they do that, they have flexibility in how they spend that money. As long as they are trying to meet one of the 4 goals set forth by TANF, states have freedom to spend that money as they will. Unfortunately, most states have decided not to spend that money on providing income support for needy families. Rather, they choose to try to meet one of the other 3 goals set forth by TANF. The success of TANF varies depending on what you consider to be successful. While the costs have been cut for this program for the states and the United States due to caps and limitations on who and how long families can stay on this system, TANF has also created a paternalistic welfare system, meaning that the system tells families what they have to do to get out of poverty rather than asking families what they need to exit poverty themselves. Racism is also common among enrollment because it is done at the states. This is especially true for southern states. And overall, there has been no decline in the poverty rates of the United States. So we would determine that this policy has not been successful in meeting any of its goals, specifically in helping families exit poverty overall. So when we look at TANF, the major challenge was to give states the power to lift people out of poverty, which they have not done. The results are varied outcomes among states, and when you look at the overall poverty statistics, we have seen no decline since 1996. The solution to this problem with TANF is to create a policy which provides skills for families so that they are capable of exiting poverty. And this would require policy being made by people, specifically social workers, who know what families need, who understand what families struggle with, so that they can help create a policy which actually serves families and helps them exit poverty for the long term. And so, after my research on TANF, I would declare that TANF has not been successful in lifting families out of poverty. Thank you so much. Please let me know if you have any questions.